Hey guys, welcome back to Allison Customs Project Car TV. Today, let's see, I have had a couple things I ordered come in and I have not had the time to mess with them at all. So today we're going to take care of one of those. And what it is a wash basin, or whatever we want to call it, wash tub. I went with the big one, 40 gallon. Probably overkill for 90% of all of our shops out here, but it was like $50 more than the small one or something, and what the heck, may as well. About a year ago, the place my son works at was clearing out a bunch of stuff, and I was able to buy, I think, 30 or 40 gallons of cleaning solution. So for me, that just kind of made it easy. I can take that barrel, match it with this, should have a pretty good deal. I did get it on Amazon. I will link to it, and we'll go through the whole process of unboxing it and then opening it up, get it put together, because quite certain we're going to have to do some assembly required kind of thing. In addition to this, I bought a couple brushes, some gloves for the solvent, and then I bought another brush, and all these were, so whoever bought this also bought at the bottom of Amazon there, so probably familiar with that kind of thing. It's another brush, but this one lets the fluid flow through it, so it comes with the hose. And anyway, there we go. It comes with that hose, and this thing plugs in, and I think it just plugs onto the nozzle, so you don't have to leave it on all the time. You can have the spray nozzle or this kind. So those are some extra parts I bought to go with it. But for now, let me reset the camera here, and we'll unbox this and get some tools out and assemble it. So this is the OEM brand, which when you look online there's really 4 or 5 that look identical, and they may very well be, most likely are. I chose the one I did for a couple reasons. First, it had Prime shipping, so that helps as far as getting it out here, because this thing is pretty heavy. Second, it was the one with reviews versus a couple of the other brands, which I was pretty sure would be the same thing, but there were no reviews on them. So I went with the sure thing. It did cost, I think, $10 or $12 more than the cheapest one that looked the same. And it's steel, which some of them were plastic, and I kind of wanted to avoid that. So let's see if we can do that. So let's see. Let's just start with the initial impression. The box was pretty tore up, so whether that was Amazon's shipping, or how it came from China really, or whether the shipping company, because it didn't come in another box, if they did that damage, I don't know. There's a little bit of damage to the lid. There's a bow right here where it's been hit. Same on this corner. Same on the back corner. It's been buckled in a little bit, so not impressed with the job they did packing it to get it here. That's the only corner back here that doesn't look like it's got any damage to it. None of these are going to take more than about 5 minutes with a hammer and a dolly, and I can get them all straightened out. It doesn't keep the lid from functioning or opening or closing, although this one's probably this is definitely the worst corner. It's actually bent up the lip, and some of the powder coat has come off. So, and it'd be pretty easy to hook your hand or something on it and get scratched. Inside, we have what appears to be the pump and a bunch of the bolts, the assembly bolts. We have some instructions, piece of foam, more foam. I imagine that's a shelf. Yeah, so even the foam inside is all tore up. So it was handled pretty roughly. The legs are just a sheet metal leg, powder coated. And again, it's been bounced around enough, it's already taken a bunch of the powder coat off of them. Let's see. Yeah, they packed paper between them, but that first one that I took out didn't have any paper around it, so. Not that any of that really matters to me. A few scuffs and bumps aren't going to affect its use, but if you're somebody who is very particular about how things are shipped and packaged, that would probably not make you happy. They put some of this desiccant in there, and it's all it's been bounced around so much the bags are all broken open and all the little beads are all over the inside here. It's not good because if you had little kids, or like we do, we have dogs, that'd be a problem getting with them. Right now, my shop isn't fenced in enough that the dogs can actually get out here. But in time, that will change. I'll try and capture as much of that as you can.
Hey, good morning. Got sidetracked yesterday with some other stuff going on around the house here, so back on this. Going to get this thing finished, put together, and go ahead and get it running. I got some parts I want to clean, so we're going to test it, see what we like about it, what we don't like, and so basically it's a review, but also, got some new tools. I think I told you yesterday I got it off Amazon. I will put a link on there for it if you're interested. As always, anything you get through links or whatever, or through the storefront for Allison Customs with Amazon, we do make a little something off of it. Doesn't change the price for you, so it's an associates page. But do appreciate it. It helps keep tools coming into my shop. It helps me produce these videos, with equipment and whatever. I know I've had some questions recently, and I will try and answer some of those in another video, but for today we'll get back on this and get this thing assembled and set up. So let me reset the camera and get you in place.
All right, guys, not too big a pain in the butt to put together. So I need to clean it out a little bit, so I'll have to get my vacuum, and then I'll get my hammers, a couple of hammers and a dolly, and straighten these corners out a little bit. Overall, I think it's pretty good. It's all so probably, I don't have a measure out here, but or a sheet metal guide out here, but I'd guess it's 18 to, the legs I think are 16 gauge sheet metal. The rest of this I think is probably 18 gauge. Some of the parts might be 16, the hinges and stuff. It's got a drain right here, and much like an oil pan drain. I think in time I will want to put a adapter on there and come out to where you can come out straight out, and then down out here you could have a 5-gallon bucket or something sitting out here, because otherwise you can be able to get maybe a 2-gallon bucket in there, and if you've really got 40 gallons in here with no valve on it or anything, that could be a pretty big pain in the butt. So let's see what else we got. Flex hose. Flex hose has got a O-ring seal on it. That's the pump apparatus. Okay. And quite a bit of what I've read. Here's the pump. So, got O-ring seals in it. Quite a bit of what I've read is actually that the pressure is basically too high on this pump. So a lot of guys are, where this whole thing comes into their unit, they put a ball valve on here with a T, and then they can release pressure accordingly. Now, up until this point, I haven't even opened the instructions. Let's see. So far, we have one extra bolt, screw, and washer, which I imagine is to hang the pump or something on. Well, this is supposed to mount on here, straight in. This is another 90 that's already in there, so I don't know if that's an indication if that breaks.
Or just what?
Here, the finish is, let me see if I can get that where you can actually see it. Yeah, right there. Finish is really bad, and it's not just like it's rough underneath, it's actually bubbled up. I hadn't noticed it originally, but on the back of this, behind the switch here, there's just a relief area that will hang over this sheet metal. Pull it all in, get it up snug, and it hangs right there, which is fine, except that if this is all the arm you have no real way to wash anything beyond, about here. The rest could soak, I guess, in a large, if you filled this up to 40 gallons. Which is probably why most people that were talking about this, commenting on it, recommended buying this hose, which just slips over the end of the nozzle, and then this end goes on the end of this brush. And then, yep, that'll get you all the way to the other side. So, obviously, in my opinion, this should either be long enough to go all the way across. What would be really nice, and maybe something I can do in the future, is instead of having this on here, put a T here and run a hard line around it and have another nozzle on this side. Work from both sides, but gives us an option. Like I said, we have the small parts tray, and we have this larger tray, which again is just a piece of sheet metal. This one they didn't even bother to put anything in it to stiffen it up, really. So, 2 rails in here for it to sit on. And I imagine if you had 40-ish gallons of fluid in here, in fact, there's a little gauge stamped into the side here, a high and a low. Okay, so now you can see it. So now you can see there's this little stamped area here, high and low level, which covers the intake on the pump. But if you're at the high level with that tray in, nothing on this tray would basically be getting any of the solvent on it unless you were running it over it. And then obviously if you wanted to soak something in with this in place, you'd have to put it underneath that shelf or that tray. And then so it gave you a little parts bucket, whatever, that's let fluid drain out. You can set that down in the bottom or set it up on here and just let stuff soak. So overall, I think it's going to do exactly what I need. I'm going to run and get my shop vac, vacuum all this styrofoam up and the beads from the decadent, however you say it. Straighten these corners up, and then I'm going to get it in place and we'll add some fluid to it. So for now, this is where I plan to keep this thing. I don't know if it'll stay here long term, way into the future kind of thing, but it's going to work for now. I don't have any power on this wall yet, but considering the only power is down there on that end of the building, I'll just run an extension over here when I'm ready to use it. So I'm gonna get that barrel and put it over here, and then we gotta figure out how to get fluid, because I honestly expected this to have a line that went down into a barrel or a tank. So we'll have to figure out how we're gonna get the fluid out of that 30-gallon barrel and into here, but that's the next problem. If that's a 35-gallon barrel, and we have roughly 7 gallons left, this thing holds 28 gallons. So if you decide to buy one of these, or one of the other brands similar to it, my suggestion would be that you probably ought to buy 25 gallons of fluid. I think I mentioned in the first part of this video, my son works at a place here locally that's a supply place for filters and some chemicals and stuff. And this was old stock that they were wanting to get rid of. So I got a really good price on it. And so it was worth buying, and I'll use the rest and put it in a 5-gallon bucket, or like I said, leave it sealed up in there for now. But we'll see how I don't know how well this is going to last. I'm not going to be using this every day. It's not, I don't do that kind of work most of the time, but right now the liquid is up to right about here, which means I'm about, an inch and a half below the hole that this pump fits in. So I could put another inch of fluid in it. After that, I'd start sloshing it out the side there. So I don't want to do that. Let's get this plugged in and see how it works. Turn it on. It does have pretty good pressure. These are all parts for my forklift, and one of the things I've been wanting to do is try and get the engine back in there, and I just have not made the time to do it. Yeah. Here's one of these other brushes. And the fluid works nice. I definitely agree that there's a little too much pressure there, so the idea of putting a T in here so that you could relieve the pressure off of it. It's funny, this stuff looks brown when you're looking at it here, but it's purple coming out of the nozzle. Then you could change the pressure, you know, and it would just be relieving into the, venting itself back into the fluid. And like I said, I would like it to have yet another nozzle, I think. We'll play with it this way for a while and see if that actually ends up being something that would be important to us. I can tell you this is good fluid. I'll get the name of it for you because I don't know how easy it is to come by or how expensive it is normally, but I got a good deal on it, so I'll share that news with you. So one last thing I want to try before we move on is I want to try this other brush. Those give you a nice reach. I stuck these in this whole tray because there's some bolts in here. I don't want to lose the bolts down to the bottom of this vat. Works pretty well. Alright, well, I can see one problem is it'd be real easy to drop that and have it shooting right out at you. Anyway, I'm going to set these parts in here. Let this thing soak for a while, and then we'll come back and clean them up. Hey guys, thanks again for watching Allison Customs Project Car TV. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, little bell button up there so you get notifications. Whatever you can do to help us out. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to figure out something we can do to celebrate that when it happens, which based on the averages I think will happen sometime in July. So just so you know, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, their advertising will go back onto some of these videos, and with that then the channel makes a little bit of money. That all changed back in February. It didn't used to be that you had to have a certain number of subscribers. Just the fact that people were watching your video, you got a little bit of advertising money, and it wasn't much. I'm talking $25 a month or something. Then they changed it in February, and I'm sure it was to try and put more of the advertising dollars towards the bigger channels, and that's fine, whatever. I didn't get in this to try and make money at it, but at 1,000 subscribers, we can get back to getting a little bit of the advertising dollars. So my thoughts have been everything from just a 30-second shout out, hey, thanks for the the 1,000 subscribers to, what if we use some of the monies that we get from the Amazon sales and some of the monies that we get from advertising in the past, and we buy some tool. You guys could help me decide if we wanted to do this. We buy a tool and do a review on it here, and then we'll ship it off to a lucky subscriber. And I don't think, obviously, at that point, if we did something like that, it wouldn't be fair just to send it to the 1,000th subscriber, although I'd like to do a shout out for that individual. Because then, the other 999 that came before him are all, well, why do we want to do anything? So, so I think we would just try and draw a name, So I guess basically what I'm saying is there's 900 and something subscribers today. I think by mid to end of July we'll hit that 1,000 number. So let's do this. Everybody who comments on this video between now and when I hit the 1,000 subscriber number, we will make note of all their names. Then in those comments, tell me what you'd like to see for a 1,000 subscriber hurrah. And it could be anything. Like I said, it could be the end of, mid to end of July. 4th of July, I'll come before that. I can go out and take pictures of the video or video of the fireworks, and we can do a 30-second video on fireworks. I don't really care. I just want to do something to celebrate it. And I think it'd be kind of cool to do some kind of giveaway. So if that's what other people think would be a neat deal, you guys comment. You tell me what you think. If we decide to do a giveaway, everybody who makes a comment on this video before we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, they'll get entered into it. And that's how we'll figure it out. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please like. And we'll see you again real soon. You guys, as I was wrapping this up, I just thought of one more thing. We also have t-shirts, sweatshirts, the work shirts, the gray ones that I wear that have the logo up embroidered on them. I've got some of those, so we could do something like that too. For now, though, we're going to personalize this. Well, there you go. A little bit of customization to that.
Thanks for watching Allison Customs Project Car TV. Like us on Facebook and check us out at AllisonCustomsOnline.com.